All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh Bashem Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom one to the hopeful leg, the believers, all right, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Shai, all right. And I want to go into a lesson, entitled, the dangerous harlot, okay, the dangerous harlot, okay. And when I speak of the dangerous harlot, all right, it's symbolizes, America. Which America, has been, okay, the platform, okay, of wicked influence in the earth. America is likened, into the harlot, mystery Babylon. Okay. Matter of fact, let's start off with it in prophecy to deal with it. Set the tone for the lesson. This is Revelation 17, all right, in verse 5. I started verse 4. It says, and the woman, okay, was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. So this woman, okay, represents America, okay, and it's arrayed in purple and scarlet color, decked with gold and precious stone. Because what does a harlot do? A harlot makes herself appealing. She markets herself, okay, to allure your lower nature. A harlot's whole, okay, agenda is to arouse your lower nature. So their clothing, their apparel, everything that they do would be to what? To arouse your lower nature. Okay? Just like America today. All right, it's a system, it's a culture that's built on arousing your lower nature. That's why American culture is known as what? A consumer culture. All right, because what does the harlot need you to do? To constantly consume. Okay? She's making it seem you're consuming. All right, you consuming is the best choice that you can make. The harlot is constantly, okay, trying to get you what to consume, to sell herself over and over again, to keep selling herself over and over again. Okay, and that's the spirit of America. It has sold this dream, this American dream, over and over again. It sells democracy over and over again, capitalism. Okay, you see. It sells you these things over and over again to your destruction. Okay? So America, is this great harlot in the earth. And the elites have used America to go around the world to sell this ideology. See, America has been the way that the elites have gotten, all right, the world to buy into the ideology, okay, of Satanism, technocracy, digital public infrastructure, DPI. Well, America has been that whore, okay, that the elites have pimped out throughout the earth to influence the nations. Okay, Revelation 17, okay, and 5, it says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Okay, and for these nations, okay, dealing with this harlot, guess what? They're finna be judged harshly. Okay? They finna have to deal with this third world's war. And then they're going to captivity, these heathens, man. For what? Dealing with this dangerous harlot. America's like one of them harlots that got all type of shit going to be getting over on niggas and, robbing and setting people up and treachery and this and that, playing people against each other. She like one of those busy women that just got a lot of shit going on, and you get involved with her. You might just picking her up to take her, to get some coffee. You see, but she got so much shit going on that you being seen with her puts you in harm's way. Okay, and America, all right, has a case, you know, in the heavens. You know, scripture speak about America, where her sins have reached into heavens. America has a case in the heavens. You know, we see these angels, you know, the most angel sightings are here in America. You know, the chariots, okay, we call the chariot sightings, okay. Well, most of that, all right, most of these chariot sightings, all right, are reported right here in the good old U.S. of A. Okay, because there's a pending case on America, all right, in which the Lord, all right, is going to judge. You see, so going from there, because you go to the next chapter, okay, and it says Revelation 18, okay, and 2 it says he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen. Is fallen, is become a habitation of devils, and the whole of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean bird. And this place, that's the aftermath of this place being nuked. Okay, because what would you do with a harlot? You know, in the ancient world, she was a daughter of a priest. Okay, and she would be a harlot. You would burn her. You would burn a witch. You know, you see, if your daughter, you know, went and played, you know, the harlot, she was supposed to be married off. You know, she's the daughter of a priest, and she went and played the harlot. She would be burnt. A witch would be burnt. Okay, so the judgment of the Lord on this great harlot, all right, this great witch, America, it's going to be burnt. No more to cast enchantments in the earth. Okay, no more to influence the earth in wickedness, man, to influence rebellion in the earth. Okay, it says he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become a habitation of devils, and the whole of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunken, all right, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. The merchants of the earth have waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies, man. So these nations, okay, it's like they've been drunken and hanging out with a harlot. Okay, and this harlot has enticed these nations into, okay, her influence. You see? And now all these nations are in danger for dealing with this dangerous harlot. Okay? So you go here to Revelation 19. Okay? Next chapter over, Revelation 19 and 2. And it says, um, I started at 1. It says, and after these things, Revelation 19 and 1, and after these things, I heard a great voice of much people in heaven saying, Hallelujah, salvation and glory and honor and the power. All right. It says, in power unto the Lord, our power. Okay. Because we're coming to a time where the elect are going to be delivered. And the main deliverance is going to be right here from the whore. And see, wisdom is keeping us from getting entangled with the whore. All right. We're going to segue into that aspect of it. All right, because this whore is dangerous on every level, on the international level, on the domestic level. Okay, she's dangerous on all levels. Okay, she destroys and ruins on all levels. She leaves you in shambles. Okay, you deal with the whore. Okay, whether it's your country, all right, your neighborhood or your house. Okay, dealing with this whore leaves you in shambles, man. All right, this dangerous whore. Okay, Revelation 19. Okay, and 2 it says, for true and righteous are his judgments. Okay, this is judgment of Yahushua. He have judged the great whore who did corrupt the earth with her fornication and have avenged the blood of his servants at her hand. Okay? So Yahweh Shai is coming back to judge this great whore, this dangerous whore. Okay? And she's put everyone in her path in danger for dealing with her, man. Okay? These nations are getting ready to be judged right along with the whore for dealing with her. Okay? And if you're in America and you dealing with this whore, okay, you're enticed, still enchanted, by this whore at the return of Yahweh Shai, all right, you're going to be burnt within this whore, man. You're going to partake in that judgment. That's why even when you go to Revelation, it says what? Revelation 18:8, it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. This is us right before we're getting delivered. We're going to be told to come out of her. We're going to be delivered in those chariots. Okay? That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. Okay? So the punishment that's coming to America is coming to this whore. Okay? We don't want to partake in that. Okay? So this wisdom has us not partaking into her enchantments and her enticements. Okay? You see? Believing in, this the culture, worshiping the culture, obsessed with the culture, addicted to this, do as thou wilt, you know, this culture of, indulging in lust, okay, the ideologies of, democracy, Christianity, nigger culture, thought culture is all, it's all part of the same cup, you know. So now, the plagues that's coming, it said not partake in her sin and her plagues. All right, so if you're found, and see this sea hip is going to be an indicator that you're down with the whore. You're right. Just saying, I'm gonna ride with the whore all the way out. You take the sea hip, as you say, I'm gonna ride with the whore. I'm good with the whore. Okay, and you're gonna partake. Okay, in what? In her plagues. You see, what's that final plague gonna be? What? The nukes. You see. So you go here. Let's get this in the book of Proverbs, because see, wisdom, like I said, is preserving us from being, okay, enchanted and enticed by the whore, as we have access back to true wisdom now. Okay, when you go into the book of Proverbs chapter 7 and verse 4, it says, say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman. Okay, which means what? Hey, to be intimate with wisdom, be familiar with wisdom, because your sister, she will put you on game. Your sister tell you about them hoes, man. Okay, your cousin, you got female cousins. They will put you on game about these hoes. They will be in the circles. All right, they would know the real deal. Okay, dealing with these women, they put you on game. Look, don't deal with her. She on this, she got this going on. Look, don't, and that's how this wisdom is doing for us. And it's pointing out. This wisdom points out the whore. It calls out the whore. Okay, in her dealings, which is off. Okay, it says, for at the window of my house I looked through my casement, and beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths a man void of understanding. See, if you're void of true understanding, okay, you're vulnerable to be enticed and to be lured in by the whore. All right, because this whore she got much game. He's like one of them old head women got much game. casing you out, she know how to put on. You see, it says, passing through the streets near her corner, and he went away to her house in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. You see, and see, when you're doing wickedness, a lot of people do their wickedness under the cover of night or darkness. And Esau, he has created darkness, confusion, okay, deception. This is the twilight. This is the time of darkness, man. Okay, but what comes out the twilight? Hey, the dawn, a new morning. Okay, which is Yahweh Shai. Okay, so this wisdom is giving us light in the twilight to where we can peep the game. See, the scriptures put us on game to where we can peep all game. See, really being locked into the scriptures, we should be able to peep all game. You know, because the scriptures, it says, as we walk in the light, we can see everything. We should be able to peep everything, man, on every level. From what Americans on the enchantments and to you see the little chick at the gas station. You should be able to peep game on every level. Okay, and it says in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night, and behold, there met him a woman with the entire of a harlot, all right, and subtile of heart, the entire of a harlot, all right, that enticing, that alluring attire. Okay, the cleavage showing, the tight fitting, the loud colors, okay, the promiscuous, eyes and eyelashes. You see, but it says of a much subtile heart, man. This place is very subtile. The system is very subtile, man. You're constantly figuring out new scams all the time. Okay? It says she is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. She's everywhere. All right. The elites have, or what you say, put America on the whole scroll. All right. She been working the block we call Earth. Okay. It says now is she without. It says now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait. Okay, in every corner. Let me see. Let me read this and let's go back to Proverbs. This gonna be in the NLT. All right. Proverbs 7 and 12 in the NLT says she is often in the streets and markets, soliciting in every corner. She threw her arms around him and kissed him. All right. And with a brazen look, she said, I've just made my peace offering and fulfilled my vows, man. So America, the culture throw its arms around you. It'll bring you in. It's like it's showing you affection, but it's fake affection. Government assistance, the American dream, the glory of being, a street nigga, you know, the videos and the music and the TV and the movie and, the schools, go to college, whatever. All these things are just throwing their arms around you, whatever it might be. Because so many, because see, she's subtile, she got plenty game. See, you know, a harlot is in survival mode. So a harlot be whatever she need to be in that moment, okay, to get what she need out of you, okay. So she'll cater to your interests, okay. You got certain women that they just into athletes, so they engulf into their world, okay. Certain women into rappers, they engulf into their world, okay. Certain women into entrepreneurs and You know, so they become whatever they need to be for that moment. Okay, and America has all these different enticements that they wrap their arm around. Okay, to bring you in. Okay, and it says, now is she without verse verse 15. It says, you're the one I was looking for. Yeah, like you're the only one. That's another thing. The harlot make you feel like you're that special one, and that's why everybody's walking around with this main character syndrome. All right, because they're fooled by the harlot as if they're this special one. You know, everybody's self-centered, narcissistic, as if the earth is spinning around them. Okay, that's the game. That's the game a harlot to come with. You know, like the world centers around you, like she centers around you. Meanwhile, you're doing her bidding, and she running the game like, look, it's all about you. Her life is about you. You know, people think that the American government is just, working in their favor. They think that this is working in their favor, the economy, this, and they think certain things are working in their favor. No, you work for the system. The system don't work for you. Okay? But you're being showered with convenience and you're constantly being gaslit. Then you're told, you're constantly being, hyped up and, you know, told how strong you are and, you're independent and you're told this and you're being told that. And you see, it's all game from a dangerous harlot, man. And she's putting you in danger. Okay? She says, I've she said, my bed is spread with beautiful blankets, with colored sheets of Egyptian linen. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Enticements, man. All these things, it's right. You like, damn, this is right. This is on point. Like, this is it. This got to be it. It's too right. You know? He said, come, let's drink. I feel a love until the morning. Until the morning, because Yahweh Shai comes in the morning. You see? Showing you that this is a temporary situation. Okay? It says, come, let us drink. I feel of love until the morning. Let's enjoy each other's caresses. For my husband is not home. He's away on a long trip. And see, we're coming to a time where Yahweh Shai is on the way back. Okay? And he's going to destroy this harlot and everyone, because this harlot is teaching everyone to be against Yahweh Shai. So, so it's like Yahweh Shai is in the spiritual realm on this long trip. All right? And this whore just running amok in the earth, enticing. Okay? But see, the husband of Israel is getting ready to come home. All right? And this is why, we've been blessed to be warned to get in line before he get here. Okay? It says, so she seduced him. Verse 20 said, he has taken taken a wallet full of money with him and won't return until later this month. And Esau pushes the spirits as if the Most High not return, as if Yahweh Shai is not return. Like this is going to continue on. This setup, this system. That's why he's putting so much money into digital infrastructure. He plans on this place continuing on. Like, okay, like our husband ain't on the way back to wreck this shit, man. Okay, so she seduced him with her pretty speech and enticed him with her flattery. He followed her at once like an ox going to the slaughter, man. America is leading to the slaughter. America is leading nations to the slaughter. Okay, society to the slaughter, households to the slaughter. Following this dangerous whore only leads to the slaughter. It says, he was like a stag caught in the trap. Okay, awaiting the arrow. You see that? The arrow, those missiles that will pierce his heart. He was like a bird flying into a snare, all right, little knowing it would cost him his life. So listen to me. Okay, so listen to me, my sons, and pay attention to my words. Don't let your heart stray away toward her. Don't wander down her wayward path, for she have been the ruin of many. Many men have been her victims. Her house, all right, is the road to the grave. Her bedroom is the den of death, man. You see, so wisdom puts us on game about the harlot, man. So we're not ensnared and entrapped and moving, all right, being carried to a slaughter, man. You know? So that's the point. Just wanted to get into that, Lord will, you brothers. All right, and you sisters edified once again. I'm gonna give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully, shalom.